thank you for joining me. I'm Stephen Ho with Mister Sauga Real Estate, and I have Marianne here, who is a psychotherapist. So thanks for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome. Glad to be able to talk to you.
Yeah, I must admit I did call you a couple of times to talk things out, and it really helped. So, but this is the first time I've heard the term psychotherapist. How's that different from like a psychologist or a counselor, or what is it that you do that's a little bit different?
So I think the major difference between a psychologist and a psychotherapist is about assessment. So psychotherapists, we also use the talk therapy to help the people with mental health issues. We use our psychotherapy, methods and all that, but we do not do assessment. So if you are thinking of you need an assessment for depression, anxiety issues, you will need a psychologist to diagnose you or a medical doctor. More talking to them, could be changing some cognitive thoughts as well, because sometimes it's how we think and what is our worldview and our perspective that make us very down. So we also help people to see a whole different perspective.
Wonderful, because sometimes we can get trapped into this tunnel of thought that we can get lost or into a different kind of space that doesn't help. So speaking of that, we're kind of going through this quarantine, and everyone's been stuck at home. We know it's for the good of everybody, but we're also seeing kind of the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, we don't know when, but it's getting closer. How have you gotten through it, or how should I kind of mentally prepare or to get through this stage? Is there any advice you would give, or any kind of framework for people to follow?
The first part comes from acceptance. We accept that this is the way it is now. You cannot change it, but maybe we can help, right? In following the government advice on social distancing and all that. But you accept that the fact that now there is a pandemic and we all have to work together. So I think the acceptance give you more peace. But on top of that, you have to look positive. Positive means, as you say, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. We don't know how long, but it seems closer these days. But you always think that there is an after, almost like there's an afterlife. There is an afterlife of the pandemic. So then if you focus on, okay, there is an after and now is during, what can I do during this time to make my after better?
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So it could be now, if you think that way, you're thinking positively, then you're thinking, okay, how should I use the resources and the time and all that I have now? Now, there is a lot of things that we did not have so much before, but now I have, for example, more time, less commute, right? Some of the people are working from home. You have more time with your kids, with your wife, with your husband. So more bonding time for sure. You have actually, personally, usually you may have more free time as well. And at the same time, there are more resources on the internet. People are giving out like free museum tours, free ebooks and all that. And I've heard like clients are taking free online courses as well.
Yeah.
There are
master classes and stuff.
Exactly. So there are a lot of things that you can take advantage of. I probably I shouldn't say take advantage of, but it's just an advantage right now. That there's something that are free that we can actually, give it a try. Take it as an opportunity that maybe you want to change your lifestyle. For example, for myself, I used to like to go out to eat. Well, now
who doesn't?
Yeah. But now you have to like buy food and take out and all that is all this hassle, and then you may not want to go out as often, right? So then maybe it's a prime time to think about lifestyle. So it's a nice to have to go out to eat, but do you really need to go out to eat that often? No, maybe not. So if you want an adjustment, it is now the opportunity for us to change our lifestyle. It could be exercise, it could be quitting some habits, things like that.
I think that probably helps out in terms of perspective going through this time.
And also, especially when you have a vision of what you want to be afterwards, it changes what you want to do now.
Of course.
For example, a lot of people are thinking that, well, I was like that too before, eating too much. eating too much, right? Gain weight gain and all that. But if you think that, well, after like whenever when it's open and we got to go out, you don't want to be like that. You want to be slimmer and all that. This is a time that you have time to do maybe at home exercise and all that.
Now, there's another aspect of this. You know, we're stuck at home with our families and our loved ones. But a lot of times, you know, with so much time and this pressure cooker situation, that sometimes things aren't always smooth. I'm sure there are some wonderful relationships out there, but at the same time, there can be some friction. And I know from just hearing out there that a lot of people are struggling with relationships in this situation. When you're together 24/7, which is kind of right? It's rare. You say it's an opportunity, but sometimes this can also have a negative impact. Are there any things that you would kind of say to help people get through this time?
People, for example, used to go out to work 8 hours a day with commutes, like 10 hours a day, and then you come home and all that, and all of a sudden you're stuck together. And so the thing is, if we can take this as an opportunity again to learn more about this person that it could be a spouse, it could be a kid, it could be a youth, right? Maybe we didn't know them so well. The conflict comes from maybe we have certain expectation of this person, an assumption, and then we found out that it's not true. He or she is not like that. So, but now if we want to turn things into positive, to say that, well, since after the time and we're together, maybe if all of us keep our curiosity and not so much assumption. So being curious to say, hey, maybe I did not really know you that well before, even spouse, right? Maybe this is the time for us to talk more and interact more and let me know you more and keep the assumption and the expectation down.
Is there any secret to deal with children, or you just got to lock them up in a closet, or is there any tips with that? Because, you know, kids are a huge responsibility, especially when you're trying to work.
Yeah, I know. And it is hard. Therefore, I know if both parents are working and they're kids and they need to be supervised, right? You cannot just leave the kids alone. It's very hard. So I guess, I mean, as much as you can, if the work schedule can be staggered, like so that one person can be, you know, taking care of the kid while the other person is working, that would be a good approach. In this scenario, the diversity in activities would be important for them. For example, if they are watching TV or YouTube or whatever in front of a computer too much, it is like, it might be a good way to keep their attention. But think about the after, because we're thinking about what do you want them to be afterwards, right? So if they get to watch YouTube 10 hours a day, what are you going to do to unwind that when we are all like back to normal or the new normal? So then the key would be different types of activity, and the parental involvement and engagement is very important. So you just have to be with them and doing different things. And I've heard, you know, people who need help, like you could be a single parent with a kid, and what else can you do? If there is someone who can help you online, such as, so can you, this auntie or this uncle, can you talk to my kid or read something with them? So to occupy them even for half an hour. That would be a relief for the parents.
So it's a time for us to get together and help each other, and really think about how we want to get out of this. And we don't want to, you know, be the same as we came into this. We want to take this opportunity because we have the gift of time to, whether we want to improve our relationships or learn a new skill or just spend quality time together. I think these are all great ideas, and we can all take some of these ideas to try and you know, implement it and come out of this a better version of us. So thanks for spending a few minutes with us and sharing these ideas.
Okay, thank you. So